Hello. If your friend, your brother, sister, or any other family member want to win the Chevening Scholarship to study in the UK, this video is for you. In this video, I will cover the complete stepwise guide to explain you how to write winning answers to Chevening application questions. As you might know, there are two parts of the Chevening application. One is the general information, in which you provide the information of yourself and your education, qualification, work experience, etc. And there's another important part of the application, which is the 4 questions, and these are the very important answers to these questions are very important for your selection. And this I'm going to explain you in this video from the Chevening review committee, those people who review your applications, how their feedback, in light of their feedback and tips for the candidates, how to articulate the answers to the 4 questions. First of all, I would like to tell you, you need to avoid 4 common errors. So if you made any of these errors, your application will not be shortlisted, and quickly it will be rejected. You will receive the regression email. So the number one is to work experience requirements are not met. If your work experience is not 2,800 hours or 2 years, then you won't be your application won't be included in the next step. So in the screening, your application will be rejected. And the second is the duplication in the courses at the same university. If you have applied 2-3 courses in the same university and doubled it, again your application will not further considered for further steps. And third is not meeting the application questions word count. As you know, the 4 questions has word count, minimum 100 words and maximum 500 words. If this is not met, or some people just fill the application, have put some signs or symbols or something to meet the criteria of the application to going to next step, then it will be not shortlisted. And the third and very important is the plagiarism. If you have done some plagiarized something, then it will not go further. So these are the common errors. Now in the next slide, I will tell you stepwise guide how to articulate questions. So there will be 2 things. One is the review committee members' feedback. Generally, for those applications which were highly scored and they were shortlisted, and some of them got the scholarship, and those applications which are weak, and their recommendations as well. As you know, for the application there are 4 questions. You have to write the answers. So as I said, there are minimum 100 words you can write the answer, and maximum 500 words. So you have to think about going for maximum rather than minimum. So the first question asked about from you is leadership and influence. So what are your leadership and influence skills you got? You have to express, you have to write the response, articulate the response in it. So the reviewer committee feedback for the previous application was like, for the strength, those applications, they were really good, or they were really outstanding, you can say, were those applications they have clearly given the examples of leadership and influencing with concrete results or outcomes. And the examples from current or recent experience, and avoiding a lengthy quotation of famous leaders, rather than focusing on your skills and abilities of leadership, and using simple language rather than jargons and technical language. So these were the strength of those applicants responses. They were highly scored and they got the scholarship. And the weaknesses for them were those there were no supporting evidence of successful leadership qualities, and because there was no examples were given in it. And if there were examples were given from the early academic experiences from school, college or university, for example, if in the college you were the CR of the class representative, and you wrote about it rather than your recent or previous experience, because as you know, one of the basic criteria for the Chevening Scholarship is having 2 years experience, means you have to focus on those professional experience examples, how you demonstrated your leadership skills, rather than going back and saying that I was the monitor of the class or the CR of the class. And then majority of applicants, they made a mistake. They assume that occupying a particular position or role is in itself sufficient. Example, for example, if you are in your country assistant commissioner or assistant chief executive of an NGO or something like that, you assume that you got the leadership position, that's why you got the skills. But you have to explain here in the answers how what you got. And many of this was again a weakness of the application, because some of people, they have defined leadership, what it is, the leadership, this and that, rather than giving examples of their own traits, what leadership traits are they have got. So and therefore there are recommendations from the reviewer committee for how to articulate this question. So I'm not going into the detail, but I can give you just an example. The recommendation is to take this approach is called STAR, situation, task, action, results approach, to articulate the answers. So in this example, I have highlighted when the situation: in my last role as lead designer, my team was short-staffed and facing a significant backlog of work. The account managers were setting unrealistic deadlines, which was causing stress for my team and affecting morale. Task is, as a team leader, it was my role not only to ensure my team met our deadline, but also to communicate bandwidth to other departments and keep my team motivated. So an action is, I set up a formal creative request process, including project timeline estimates to set better expectation. I schedule weekly meeting with the account manager to discuss my team's bandwidth and share progress updates. And the result of this was, by providing more transparency into my team processes and setting better expectations with the account managers, we were able to reprioritize the design team to-do list and complete everything in our backlog. The following quarter, we shortened our average project time by 2 days. So you see how I articulated in this example. So you have to focus on these things to define the situation, define the task, and what you did, and the results were there. So this is the kind of a framework you have to use to articulate the questions when you are answering for the leadership and influencing skills. So you have to adopt this. It's not a prescriptive, but this is kind of an example you can learn from this. And then the recommendation is the focus less on we and team in the answers and place greater emphasis on your own individual contribution. You can see, in my last role as a team leader, I set up formal, I schedule meeting. This is focus on I, because it's about you, not about your colleagues, not about your teams. So you have to give examples. So I did this, I laid down organizing event, this kind of examples. And examples require more focus in terms of exactly how they laid, and more notably what were the results of their exam. As in the example you can see, as a team leader, I set up, I scheduled. So it means it's initiated by you. So you have to write in this type of language to give examples. And the second question you have to answer is the networking, about networking. So strength for the according to the review committee, the strength of those applications which were really high, scored highly, were a specific example of their own networks, describing unique and diverse ways of maintaining those networks, and discussed how they facilitate networking. And the weakness, merely joining a social media. Loads of my students write about, I have 500 or 5,000 friends on Facebook, 250 on LinkedIn, and this and that. It doesn't give any sense. So these are not the professional network. You have to be clear about and specific about it. So no clear example of using network at work, more generic answers. So again, I have described an example for you here. I'm an active member of a national professional body, the Engineering Council. I attend the annual meeting and conference of the council, which mainly features experts in the field. Through my regular attendance, I have built a strong relationship with other attendees and the council executive committee. I'm also selected to serve on the conference organizing committee for the next year. So this is the practical example from your life. Given this is, you have to articulate in this way. And the third question you have to answer is about the study in the UK. This is much more about researching. You have to apply for the 3 different university, 3 courses in the UK to give information in the application, and you have to give the answer of this in the questions. So a strength for really focus on the study outcomes with evidence of research and institution and course level, having distinct paragraph discussing their courses rather than generic things. So, and the weaknesses did not specify their chosen university or demonstrate an awareness of the key details from within their field, unable to give clear and coherent reasons for the chosen courses. A cursory or better than cursory knowledge of their chosen course and university, and often the detail given on this read like cut and paste from the university professional material rather than doing research. So you have to take time and do the research. And the example for this, I selected Masters in Applied Anthropology because it fits in perfect with my career goal to be an research expert in the field. I have selected University of Manchester for this because I like the approach this university takes to my course, such as combination of theory and practice, this kind of example. So you have to give little bit time and do the research on the university and courses, and then write in the answers rather than going generic answers. And the final question is, you have to write the career plan. There are a number of approaches for the career plan, but the strength were those career plans were based on outline of specific concrete goals, which usually therefore seem more convincing and achievable. You can write the achievable goals, but there must be some kind of a reality in it. If you say you are, after this masters, you are going to fate of the nation or country or change the world, these are unrealistic goals. So you have to be focused on what you want to do after this master course. So the weaknesses did not give a strong rationale, which made a potential clear career path unconvincing, because you just listed down this, but not. And many applicants write they are going to do, after this they are going to do PhD. So PhD is good, ambitious, but and also is realistic, but it will always not convincing, because why you want to do, you have to justify that why you straight away after this you want to do the PhD, or after 2 years do you want to PhD. So you have to provide the justification rather than writing a goal in itself. and the career plan were too often poorly developed, and it was not possible to discern how a Chevening scholarship would be of benefit. So because if you read the explanation of the questions there, you have to connect these with the Chevening scholarship and to your country where you are going back and working again, so to be the realistic. So I have given here 2 examples you can see and then articulate in that way. My career goal is to be full-time writer in 5 years. To achieve this, I will work on freelance writing project to help build up my portfolio, attend writing workshop, and read 1 book per quarter on how to improve my writing. So this is goal, and then you can write the short term and then mid-term and then the long-term goals, but be specific and coherent in your goal. And there is another example for you. After completing MSc, I will go back to my country and join the previous company and the position. Using the leadership, communication, interpersonal and teamwork skills that I learned from the course, I will advance from the current position of sales representative to a sales manager position in the next 2 years. So see, it's a very specific goal. So these examples I have given you are just not a prescriptive, but as a guideline, a framework you can articulate your own. I'm sure you have got much more to say, but you have the way you have articulate and make application really outstanding for you. So if you like the video, please like it, share with your friends, and also subscribe to channel for the more, and good luck with your application.